The objective of this experiment is to calculate the specific heat capacity of aluminium and iron metal. For apparatus and material, for the first one, 2-unit sample of metal, which is aluminium and iron, 1 unit of calorimeter set, 1 unit of thermometer, 1 unit of hot plate, 1 unit of graduate cylinder 100 mm, 1 unit of beaker 250 mm, 1 unit of 500 beaker, and the last one, 1 meter of thread. Okay, for the procedure, for the first step is 300 mm of water was poured into the 500 mm beaker using the graduated cylinder. Next, the mass of dry aluminium block was measured and recorded. The aluminium block was tied with a 50 cm thread, and the aluminium block was hung by using the universal clamp and heat the block in the beaker until the water boils. The mass of empty calorimeter was measured and recorded. Next, 200 mm of water was poured into the calorimeter. Wait about 2 minutes. The initial temperature of calorimeter was measured and recorded. The mass of calorimeter was measured and recorded with water. Next, the temperature of aluminium block was measured and recorded as soon as the water boils. Put it out quickly and the boiled water and immerse into the calorimeter. The highest temperature or equilibrium temperature, which is T, of the system was measured and recorded before it started falling while stirring the water. The calorimeter was rinsed with cold water, and the procedure was repeated with iron metal block. Okay, as you can see here, this is the data analysis that we get of our experiment. From the top, the mass of the dry metal for the zinc is 0.0562, and for the iron metal is 0.0566. Next, the mass of empty calorimeter is 0.2145, and the mass of calorimeter with water is 0.3398. Sorry. Okay, next, initial temperature of the boiling water is 20, and temperature of boiling water is 98 degrees Celsius. And final temperature of metal after immersion in calorimeter is 25 degrees Celsius for the zinc and 24 degrees Celsius for the iron metal. Specific heat capacity of zinc is 762.87 joule per kilogram and 597.85 joule per kilogram for the iron metal. Theoretical value specific heat capacity of metal zinc is 0.460 kilojoule for the zinc and 0.387 joule per kilogram for the iron metal. The percentage difference between specific heat capacity and theoretical value of specific capacity is 95.67% for the zinc metal, and for the iron metal is 35.88%.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and I'm going to interpret a bit about the analysis of these experiments. The first question is calculate the specific heat capacity of zinc and ferrum metal block. For the first step, we are using the formula given in the lab manual and fill all the data according to the formula, like this. And the result of it, we got 762.87 joule per kilogram for zinc. And as for metal ferrum, we're also using the same step and the same formula, just change the data by using the ferrum result, and we got 567.85 joule per kilogram. Let's move on to the next question, which is calculate the percentage difference between your calculated specific heat capacity and its theoretical value. This is the formula that we use to do this question. And as for experimental value, we already done it in question number 1, and just transfer the answer here. And the theoretical value for zinc is 390, and the percentage difference we got is 95.67%. As for ferrum, the theoretical value is 440, and the percentage difference we got is 35.88%. Question number 3, state the reason for stirring the water before taking the temperature reading at the end of the experiment. The reason is stirring allows efficient heat transfer between the water and metal used in this experiment. This action is crucial to ensure the heat is distributed evenly throughout the system and obtain an accurate measurements during experiments. For the last question, justify the selection of water as the cooling medium for this experiment. Water has a high specific heat capacity that allows it to absorb and hold a lot of heat without experiencing drastic temperature change. Because of this property, water can effectively absorb heat produced during the experiment while maintaining its own temperature.
Hi, I'm SHASHA IRDINA, and I am going to talk about the discussion of the experiment. This experiment was conducted to determine the specific heat capacity of zinc and iron metal. While doing the experiment, we understand that the heat required to raise a temperature of 1 kilogram metal is 1 Celsius. Once the metal of zinc or iron submerged in the water and the metal will reach equilibrium temperature. Once it reached the equilibrium temperature, the temperature was recorded and the specific capacity of zinc and iron was managed to be calculated, which is for zinc is 762.87 joule per kilogram and for iron is 597.85 joule per kilogram. After doing the experiment, we also managed to calculate the percentage difference between calculated specific heat capacity and its theoretical value. Zinc percentage difference was 95.67%, while for iron is 35.88%. This percentage difference was calculated to ensure the accuracy of this experiment final result. By conducting this experiment, we managed to understand the principle of conservation energy, which is the principle of isolated system was applied in this experiment. As we are applying the isolated system, we are applying this by putting the calorimeter in the insulating jacket to make sure that there are no heat energy transferred into the surrounding. Throughout the experiment, precaution was taken to make sure that the final result will be as accurate as possible. The precautions that were taken are to make sure that the water are enough to make sure that the metals can be completely submerged in the water. Other than that, the mass of each data were taken at least 3 times to make sure that it is correct. We also made sure that the lid of the calorimeter were closed tightly to make sure that heat energy or the temperature contained in the calorimeter does not expose to the surrounding, and the final result will be the exact as what we wanted without exceeding theoretical value. And now, to conclude the whole experiment, we could conclude that the objective of this experiment has been successfully achieved. The specific heat of the experiment was managed to be calculated, which is for zinc is 762.87 joule per kilogram and for iron is 597.85 joule per kilogram. All of the errors that may have occurred and affected the end result has been avoided, so we could obtain an accurate result for the whole experiment. That's all from our group, so we are hoping to see you in another experiment. Bye bye!